We are tonight's entertainment.
What the fuck is this, Jet?
This is a tasty burger.
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
You like Huey Lewis in the news?
Is this your homework, Larry?
Why don't you spill your beans?
Welcome back to the Film Scoop with me and my co-host, Vanessa.
That's good stuff.
Hell yeah.
I sprung that on Carl out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, intro us as Kingpin. And
I knew you were going to put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Because we were playing around with possible back and forth to Kingpin and then Carl Weezer, which I still think my Carl Weezer is bad.
I wanted you to do Don't Count Your Chickens, but you keep saying that you can't do other
Yeah, Don't
other
Count
phrases.
Your Chickens is my Dylan.
Yeah.
It's perfect this one time.
Yeah, it
but
makes
when
sense.
When you open it up, it's really hard.
If I had to do like a full conversation in Dylan, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So.
You have to plan out the lisp with Don't Count Your Chickens.
Yeah. Yeah. So I get it. But you do a good Kingpin.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. So we're back. We're talking about Mickey17. We were gonna do a Bong Joon-ho ranking, but sometimes things just happen
Oh, yeah?
that you don't see coming, and then
Are you going to leave it at that?
why are you trying to fucking put my business
I'm
out
just
there?
saying, I saw it coming. I mean, fucking look at you, dude. I knew it was coming.
All right.
I knew the
So-
second the doors were open.
So we planned on doing a Bong Joon-ho ranking, and then I started off that thought with, okay, we're gonna watch all of them. We're gonna watch the ones we haven't seen, and we're gonna rewatch the ones that we've seen.
Yeah,
Just
the ones
keep
we
it fresh
know
in the
and love,
mind.
yeah.
Yeah. And then a couple days went by, didn't get to any Bong. And I was like, all right, so we'll just do the ones we haven't seen, and then we'll rank everything. Then a couple more days went by, didn't get to any more Bong, and I was like, okay, so no more Bong ranking. We're just gonna do something else.
Hit the old cutting room floor.
Yeah. So sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. But regardless, we're back, and it's not going to be a mediocre scoop.
No.
I know that you're probably disappointed you're not getting a Bong ranking, but one thing we don't do here is mediocre scoops.
Mediocre?
Sometimes we'll have a good scoop, and sometimes we'll have an amazing scoop.
Yeah.
But never mediocre.
No.
We never go that low.
I can tell you right now, your balls are going to tingle a little
That's a bar I won't cross. But we got a couple things to fucking discuss here. The only news of this week is that they cast a man to play Snape in the Harry Potter series.
I saw people discussing that in the Discord.
Yeah.
But it was involved around someone that I wasn't sure who they were, so I just kind of left it.
Yeah, so I don't know how to pronounce this man's name, but I assume his first name's pronounced Papa.
That's awesome, dude. What a badass name.
Yeah. It's Paapa. So it's like Papa. But, I've never heard it said, so I don't know. But I don't know how else you could say that, those alignment of letters.
Paapa.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Peapa.
Yeah. It could be Paapa. That actually makes more sense.
Peapa, if that's I would tell people to call me Papa.
Yeah.
I would make them say Papa.
But Paapa Esidu? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm doing my best. But,
That's tough, dude.
But yeah, he got cast as Severus Snape, and it sparked some discourse because there's some people that don't like it just because he's black.
He's black! No, I'm fucking around.
I just feel like there's no way around that being racist. Like, there's no way so listen, when you're casting a character, sometimes there are characters that need to be a certain race. Sometimes it's really important. Black Panther has to be black. Blue Beetle has to be Hispanic. Shang-Chi has to be of Asian heritage.
Yeah.
There's certain characters that have to be a certain kind of person because it's integral to their character. Most characters aren't that way, and they're especially not that way with white people. I really can't think of any roles off the top of my head. Like, I was thinking more like superhero roles, even though this is about Snape, but that's just that's the one I know the most about. I can't think of many superheroes that just have to be white, or else it'll ruin the character and it'll make no sense.
I can think of one.
The only one you got a smile on your face, so I don't know.
No, dude.
You're thinking of something stupid.
No, Danger Man.
Oh,
that cannot be anyone but a white guy.
I disagree. That could be anybody.
No, dude.
That could be anybody.
Only a white guy would be that uncool to not take up, be like, I have powers now, and I'm gonna sue the company.
It's only white people that could be such pussies.
Yeah,
so
dude.
I get what you're saying.
I'm not gonna do it.
But I think maybe Green Arrow's one of them because I think he's Irish. But I mean, I don't know. Like, that's sort of a stretch to begin with.
Yeah,
but I think that most characters, you can make Batman any race, and it doesn't really change anything.
Yeah.
As long as those bones are still there, as long as he's Bruce Wayne and his parents died and he is, lives in a mansion with Alfred, doesn't really matter. Yeah, no, it's not integral that he's white.
Yeah, characters, like, the only time a character needs to remain a certain way is if, like, their heritage plays an important part in who the character is. And, Shang-Chi being Asian is one of those things. Doctor Doom...
being Romani.
Being Romani. That's another thing that, like, you should probably do that.
Yeah.
And then I think Constantine is typically Irish too, but I could be wrong on that. Could be totally wrong.
Yeah. But for the most part, changing a character's race should never really be a problem.
Yeah, no.
Unless the actor's just a bad actor. That's a different thing. Now, if they cast Batman, if they cast Batman as Don Cheadle, I'd be upset. Because he's fucking 60 and he's 5'8". Yeah. So that would be the problem, is that he's 60 and he's 5'8", not because he's black.
I'm gonna come on you.
So,
oh, God.
I think that if you have an issue with the casting just because he's black, you should take a look in the mirror and think about what you're saying.
Yeah, no, there's just certain aspects of characters that you can't change. Like, Daredevil can be whatever you want him to be. He's got to be Catholic. Got to be Catholic. Got to be blind. Yeah,
that's about
those two things have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Batman
Superman has to be from Krypton.
Yeah, he's got to be an alien.
Yeah, he's got to be raised on a farm. Other than that, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So, I think that people that are getting upset about it really should think about, why they're getting upset about it and realize how fucked that is. Because Snape is not a character, like, even in the books, he's just described as having, I think the word is sallow skin.
I don't know what that word means.
I'm going to look it up.
But I can tell you right now, like, I can see people being resistant because of how iconic the original cast is, like Alan Rickman and stuff. But there's a difference between being like, it's going to be weird seeing someone else aside from Alan Rickman and being like, I don't like this guy because he's not Alan Rickman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see, that's the thing, is like, that's why this whole Harry Potter reboot thing is so risky, because Harry Potter is just a certain thing that they kind of got everything right on. I don't think every movie's great, but in terms of the castings, there's not a bad casting in that franchise, I don't think. I mean, every single thing they cast was like the definitive version. Like, when you hear McGonagall, you think of Maggie Smith.
Yeah.
And when you hear Snape, you think Alan Rickman. Like, it's just, they were cast so perfectly that it's really hard to imagine anyone in the new Harry Potter series, like, being better.
Yeah.
So that sucks, but I don't think it matters at all, what race Snape is, or really what race anybody is. As long as they're a good actor, that's what matters.
Yeah.
Now, there's a different discussion to be had if you're casting actors, like minority actors, that aren't good just because they're minority actors. That would be different.
Yeah.
If you're casting someone, of a certain race and they're actually really bad, sure, that could be open for criticism. But this guy, I don't know much about him, but I'm sure he's a good actor. And if he's not a good actor, then we'll see that when we watch the show. And then you can say, I didn't like that casting. He wasn't very good.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen.
I've never heard of him before, so it's a clean slate for me. But
yeah.
the only other thing that plays into, I think, roles is physicality. Like you said with Don Cheadle playing Batman, like you can't cast a small person to play Batman. Which, I know Robert Pattinson's Batman, but he was still ripped.
He's not small.
Yeah, he's tall. Like, you don't want, I don't know, because Michael Keaton's short too. I might have just fucked myself.
He sucks as Batman.
He sucks. Like, you know what I mean?
Making my point.
Like, you don't want to cast Michael Cera as Superman.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into casting, but
Yeah.
race just isn't really one of them, except for like very, very specific cases which don't come along often.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't really matter. The best actor should get the role, no matter what color they are.
Yeah.
So that's that's the inside scoop for this week.
Yeah.
You like that?
I did like that.
So what was the next thing up? Just a couple shows we've been watching.
Yeah.
I have to remind myself because it's not on my letterbox, so I'll forget if I don't put it in my notes. But Daredevil's back. Let's fucking go.
You're jumping straight into Daredevil, dude?
Let's motherfucking go.
All right, you want to come? Let's come, dude.
I was so excited for this, dude. Daredevil's something I feel like we don't talk about a ton on here, so people may not know, but Daredevil is one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Daredevil. And I cannot believe that people watched season 3 of Daredevil and canceled it. Because it's like the peak of the show. It's like as good as it gets.
Well, I don't think it was like, this show sucks, like, stop making it. I think it was like a rights thing.
No, it wasn't.
You don't think so?
No, I know it wasn't.
Oh, I haven't looked into it. I just assumed with, like, Disney, like, buying everything, and they were kind of taking control of, like, taking back the properties that were being, like, licensed out.
No, it wasn't a rights thing.
Oh.
They canceled it.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Makes absolutely no sense to me, but finally we're back. And I thought the trailers actually were really selling me, and I was starting to get excited, and I was getting nervous that I was getting excited.
Yeah, I was
Disney.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go into this, and I'm gonna stay chill.
Yeah, because I thought Moon Knight looked good too in the trailers, and then we know how that turned out.
Moon Knight's dog shit, dude.
Yeah, so
it's actual horrible.
I was very impressed with Daredevil Born Again so far. These 2 episodes we got, I'm very pleased with it. To be honest, I haven't seen much of a quality drop from the Netflix series. Maybe some people have, but I really... It kind of feels like just season 4 of Daredevil to me.
Yeah, and a big thing is you've got a lot of the same cast. You still have Charlie Cox, who's still doing the performance that is fantastic. And you've got
D'Onofrio
Vincent
back as
D'Onofrio
Kingpin.
still sounding like a psychopath, still playing with his fingers, doing all the weird stuff.
Yep, eating eggs.
Yeah, eating eggs.
Yeah, eating eggs and 1 string bean.
Yeah. The visuals are awesome. The camera work and stuff. The big difference is obviously I guess with a higher budget, they're using more CGI.
See, I've heard people talk about this, but really I haven't noticed a lot of CGI.
Oh, I think it's like it was pretty easy to notice, but they're using it in places that I think it's effective, and everything is. Any time I've seen it, it's been very disguised, and they're able to hide because there was like a movement that happened with Daredevil that was a very unnatural movement, but he's like swinging through the city, which we haven't really seen a lot of from Daredevil in the Netflix series.
Because they tried to keep it very grounded in like street level, and they sort of just wanted to make him a brawler, and
Yeah.
they sort of ignored his acrobatic side.
Yeah,
in the
so he's
Netflix
like
series.
throwing his batons around with the rope and like pulling himself up, and,
like
rappelling
grappling
up.
around. Yeah,
And there's some movements that are a little weird.
they're a little rubbery.
Yeah, but everything's dark. You never see it super up close. So they're using it sparingly, and they're using it effectively, and they're hiding it when they are using it.
I agree with the like when he's swinging around the city. I think that's something that like I excuse that. That's a time where it's acceptable to use CGI. But when it bothers me is like in Roadhouse when they were using CGI like in a fist fight.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
why? That's so excessive. And, like, you can film, like I said when we talked about Roadhouse, they were filming fistfights back in the 1920s with Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah.
So why are we moving backwards? Like, it's very easy to film a fist fight.
Yeah.
So that's when it bothers me, is when I feel like they're using it at times when they shouldn't. And it didn't really feel like they were doing that much. There's one shot when this is like all in the first 20 minutes, so I wouldn't consider it spoilers, but Daredevil's fighting Bullseye on the top of a roof, and the scene's incredible, but there's a point where the camera's like kind of moving backwards away from them, and it looks like Daredevil's punches are like very like video game like, and it looks a little weird, but it was like the shot started up close and you could tell it was like real people, and then it started to move back, and then it started looking video game like. So I was like, how is it just the way the guy moved just was a little like weird and like robotic, and was it not CGI? But other than that, there's one shot that made me fucking blow a load. It made me blow a load in my pants. And it was
What shot is that?
It was so the whole the first episode starts with Matt, Karen, and Foggy. Sorry, this is going to be a lot of Daredevil talk, but
No,
it's
dude,
been
we gotta
long
get into
overdue,
it, yeah.
so you can skip ahead if you don't want to hear us yammer. But the episode starts with Matt, Foggy, and Karen walking down a sidewalk. Foggy says, like, I think his friend Benny is in trouble or something, and then Matt goes off by himself, and then you instantly see him in his Daredevil costume, like grappling up a ladder,
yeah.
grappling up. You see him flying up, and then he lands on this catwalk in front of stained glass of a cathedral behind him, and he's just standing there, fucking brolic. And this music starts kicking in, and it was one of the most like we're so fucking back moments I've ever, after having it been canceled for 6 years, and then 7 years actually, and then the first time we see him on screen again, well, he was in She-Hulk.
Don't worry about
the first
that.
time he was like in a Daredevil series again was that shot. It made me blow a load.
Yeah, dude.
But in that shot that I love, it does look a little rubbery when he lands, because it's like it's a supernatural movement to like land from a high angle on this
he's
thing.
supposed
So
to
it's
like
CGI.
he's
like,
supposed to land against this wall and then like kind of hop off the wall and land on the fire escape. And it is like a CGI until he lands, until he plants the landing.
Yeah,
and then he's standing there.
the transition to him landing is CGI, but then he's actually there once he lands.
Yeah. But the shot though, it's dark. There's like a low light cast on like from his back, so you're kind of seeing his silhouette, and then the majority of the frame is like the building that he's up against, and then right behind them is the fucking church, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I
Like
wanna see him on a
instantly
gargoyle
kind of
so
one of my
bad.
favorite Daredevil shots.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that would be the case with a Disney Plus series. They normally don't give a fuck about visuals at all. But I need to research who's like doing this show, like who's directing it and show running it, because I've been very impressed with the direction so far.
Yeah.
There's so many like interesting camera moves that they've made so far.
Yeah.
Like there was honestly too many for me to even remember.
Yeah. A big one for me was Kingpin eating breakfast.
Yeah, started the shot upside down.
I was like, this is just him eating breakfast. And I was like, dude, did you see that? We got to rewind this. And it's like this slow like spin where it goes upside down, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, the fight inside Josie's bar with Daredevil and Bullseye throws a smoke in there, and the camera sort of like fades into the back of the restaurant, and then you see
that
see
sequence is so
Daredevil
cool.
and Bullseye fighting in the smoke, and it's like a one take like they used to do in Netflix Daredevil, and then the smoke the lights turn out like they always do because it's fucking Daredevil, and you gotta that's an advantage he has. So he's always got to take advantage
You're in
of
his world now.
Yeah. Oh god. You reminded me of that shit stain. But that scene is really fucking good. They did that thing where like the camera moves backwards and then these doors shut and you're seeing like the shadows of them fighting in the glass, and then and then he throws Bullseye and he like busts down the door, and Bullseye's just fucking throwing everything, all over, just throwing pencils and knives and fucking. I lost my mind when they introduced Bullseye. The introduction of Bullseye is a fly on the wall, and then you see a fucking paperclip pierce the fly and kill it, pinned to the wall.
Yeah.
I'm such a big fan of character introductions.
Yeah.
Like, finding a cool way to introduce a character where they're not on screen, but you instantly know who it is.
Yeah.
And, like, a small example would be, like, Spider-Man No Way Home. You see Daredevil's, his walking stick.
Yeah.
He, like, plants it on the ground. And he's not even in the shot yet, but you see his hand on the stick, and you go, that's fucking Daredevil. That's a very, like, obvious version. Yeah. But the Daredevil, or the Bullseye, like, paperclip thing, I just think, I don't know why. I just thought that was so fucking cool.
Awesome. I have the biggest hard-on for Bullseye, and I don't know why. I don't think I care about him as a character. I think he's just so cool in the show that I just am rock hard. Mm-hmm. Seeing him, like, they're running through, and he is throwing fucking whatever he can find, but he grabs pool balls and just pelts some guy with it, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I went back after we watched the 2 episodes of Daredevil and watched the season 3 episode where they fight in the office. Mm-hmm. And it's just so cool seeing this, like, Daredevil trying to get in and him just hitting him at every angle he tries to get to. Because Daredevil pieces him up if he gets close. Yeah. And Bullseye's got to keep him away. Play his game.
Yeah, it's a really good dynamic in fighting styles.
Yeah, and it adds so much to the visuals that Bullseye isn't just, like, Deadshot, like a guy with a gun. Yeah. It sounds stupid on paper that this guy just throws stuff insanely accurate. Yeah. But it's so cool to see actually played out. Mm-hmm. And it really puts me in that world.
Yeah. I'm about to say a big spoiler for Daredevil Born Again. It's been kind of all over the internet, so you probably already know. But if you don't want to know any spoilers, skip ahead a few minutes. But 20 minutes into the first episode, Bullseye kills Foggy. And I already knew that was going to happen because spoilers are everywhere, yeah. But it was like one of those things that was rumored like weeks ahead of the release. It wasn't like official, but it was just like apparently Foggy dies and Daredevil Born Again. But for some reason, like, I thought that sequence was pretty well done, but I just didn't really like affect me emotionally. Like, if I was watching Daredevil season 3 and Foggy got killed, I feel like I'd be a lot more sad. But I was telling Carl, I think part of the reason is because I think they should have waited at least a couple episodes to kill Foggy. Have us, like, give us 2 or 3 normal Daredevil episodes, then kill Foggy. Once we've been, like, back with them, we're more accustomed to their relationship again, we're getting back in the rhythm, and then Foggy dies. But when they do it, like, right at the start, after not having any Daredevil for 6 years...
Yeah, you haven't spent any time with the character.
We're a little removed right now from this world, so it just didn't feel as impactful. And I think if you would have waited till, like, episode 3 to do it, it could have been a lot more impactful, a lot more emotional. But regardless, I think that sequence is really good. Daredevil is beating ass on the roof, beating Bullseye's ass, and he's holding him over the ledge, and he's listening to Foggy's heartbeat slowly stop. Yeah. And just another great... I'm always so, like, happy whenever they find a cool way to use Daredevil's powers in, like, very practical ways.
Well, that plays into, like, the visual language. Like, they do stuff with the camera now where it's like when he starts focusing on listening to one specific thing, the camera will, like, fade everything else out and zoom in on that one thing, which is so cool.
I was going to bring that up in the... Well, I guess I'll finish talking about the Foggy sequence, but I thought that sequence was actually really well done, and Matt hears Foggy's heartbeat stop, and then he starts, like, screaming and saying why to Bullseye, and eventually he just throws him off the roof. Yeah. And to me it's a callback to season 2 when Punisher said, "You hate me because you know you're just one bad day away from being me." Yeah. And this was that one bad day. And so ever since that point, Matt's given up being Daredevil. He said he he tried to kill someone and he doesn't deserve to be Daredevil anymore. He hasn't earned it anymore.
Which I like that trajectory for Daredevil's character.
It also plays into the whole vigilante thing that like Fisk is attacking, and that's like part of his big run as mayor is outlawing vigilantes, even though they're already outlawed. But I guess he's trying to crack down on it more.
Yeah, they're doing a no nonsense thing.
Yeah, and at the beginning when they're in the bar, you have that lady talking about like vigilantes and how some of them are good people trying to do the right thing, and some of them are just like power tripping assholes. And there's a big, there's a line you can't cross, and Matt crossed it, and he decided that he couldn't be Daredevil anymore. So now he's just full-time lawyer. But going back to what you said about the camera movements, that's what's like, if there was one thing about Daredevil Born Again I thought would be good, I'd assume it's just, well, it's good to see Daredevil and Kingpin and all the characters back again, and like you're getting good acting and probably some good action. I did not think it would be impressive direction.
Yeah.
That's not one thing I had on my checklist for Disney Plus Daredevil. But the direction really is so creative and so cool to where they're doing things that you're like, I can't believe they didn't do that in the Netflix series.
Yeah.
And the first time he's using his senses, they're in the bar, and he's in a conversation with Karen, and then he zones out, and then they do a dolly zoom, and it focuses in on Matt and everything else around him. You hear the sound design in the show is so fucking good. When he's like using his hyper sound and trying to locate a sound, you hear so many voices around you. You hear the entire restaurant around you. And then as he starts to close in on Foggy's location and his voice, you start to zoom in, and then the margins, the aspect ratio starts slowly shrinking down and like being very isolated onto Foggy and his voice, and it feels like it's just such a great visualization of his powers. Yeah, it makes it feel so much more. It sounds fucking stupid, but it sort of makes you feel more like Daredevil.
No, it doesn't sound stupid, because like throughout the show you'll just see him. Obviously, he's hearing stuff or sensing stuff, but it just plays off almost like he has superhuman reflexes. But that's not what his powers are. Right. His powers are like generally heightened senses.
Yeah. Sometimes when you watch Daredevil for too long, you forget that he's blind because he's just so good at everything. Mm-hmm. Like you were saying. But with this show, it seems like they're really trying to remind you, like, repeatedly, like, what his powers are and how he uses them.
Yeah, they do
and they're doing it visually, which is like the coolest thing.
Yeah, the most you get from the original show, or the first 3 seasons, is like they might like do a close up shot of his ear, and then they play the sound real loud, like a typical you're hearing something shot, and then they'll do which I think is one of the most badass things ever. He'll fight people with his head down, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. Yeah, not even looking around, just fucking. Piecing people up, dude.
Yeah, so I've been really impressed with the direction. I think they're doing some really cool stuff with the camera, and I think it just kind of looks good. Like they're getting the lighting right. There's a bunch of fog everywhere. It's sort of darker. It doesn't look like they're like It doesn't look like they're using a ton of green screen. It doesn't look like the lights are on too bright and everything's overexposed. Like it just kind of looks nice. It kind of looks like the Netflix series to me. Kingpin's back. He's, up to his shenanigans again.
Yeah. I like the puzzle pieces that are being put into place for for the conflicts in the show. Kingpin running for mayor, doing this anti-vigilante thing. Matt not really being in a good place and having, hung up his mask for a while. Like, I like where it's going, where it's heading. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I might jump ahead, so you go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Well, no, you can jump. I don't have too much left. I was just going to talk about the season or the episode 2 finale, but that's last.
That was exactly what I was going to say. Okay. I was going to say episode 1 had like one of the hardest intros ever. Episode 2 had like one of the hardest finales ever, dude. I was so hard. Yeah. The whole time.
Yeah. Episode 2 ends with Episode 1 starts with him as Daredevil, then he tries to kill Bullseye, and ever since then we've seen no more Daredevil, no more fights. And then so we go the rest of episode 1 and all of episode 2 with him just as Matt doing lawyer shit. And then the episode 2 ends with these two guys trying to kill him. And he's like, don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it.
Yeah.
And then they fucking try to kill him. And he just goes ape shit on them. And I saw him gearing up. And I was like, fucking do it. Fucking do it.
Fucking murder these guys.
No, after he had murdered them.
Yeah.
I saw the look on his face, and I was waiting for that fucking signature Daredevil primal yelp.
Yeah.
And it just filled me with blood.
Yeah.
Just every portion of my body was erect.
Only my penis was filled with blood, dude.
No.
That's not enough. It all went to my penis.
No, that's not enough.
I was about to explode.
No. It made me so... It's like... He starts yelling, and then, like, the episode has, like, a needle drop during his yell. And it's like, it's another just, we are so fucking back, dude.
Yeah.
I am so happy with this show. With, like, I did not think it would be this good. And maybe it falls off a cliff. Hey, we don't know. Maybe they crammed all the juice into the first 2 episodes.
To get you hooked.
We still haven't gotten Punisher, and we still haven't gotten Muse. So I really doubt it falls off a cliff somehow.
Yeah.
As long as the direction stays this good, and like I said, we're still getting... I'm much more interested in Punisher and Muse than I am Bullseye. So I'm so excited to keep watching the show, and I just love Charlie Cox's Daredevil, man. He's so good.
I think Muse is going to be a really, really cool villain. And I think my prediction is that a lot of this season is going to be Daredevil struggling with not wanting to kill people.
That'd be a cool...
Because I think that, like, Muse is a really horrible, horrible, bad villain. Does terrible things. Punisher showing up is obviously going to feed into that, like, you know... If you'd killed Daredevil earlier, or Bullseye earlier, Foggy would still be alive. And it's like, I mean, you can't argue with logic.
Yeah, it's like the whole Batman Joker thing, and, you know, like Under the Red Hood, like how many people, you know, I don't want to get into spoilers for Under the Red Hood, but it has one of the best endings because of that conflict, because of that issue and ideology.
And that sequence of Punisher and Daredevil in season 2
on the rooftop,
the rooftop sequence, really anything with that entire start of like season 2 when they introduce Punisher's the villain, so to speak. That's one of the best fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
They're back on the street doing the same goddamn thing.
You hit them, they get back up. I hit them, and they stay down. I wish I had a cool John Bernthal voice. He does a lot of screaming too when he's Punisher. I need more men screaming in my face, dude.
I was telling you, I was on TikTok, and his court scene from Daredevil came up when he was on trial, and it's just one of the... I just love that scene so much, dude. I'm not crazy, all right? I'm not crazy. I am smack dab right in the middle of my goddamn mind.
Right,
I did it and I liked it. And I do it again.
He goes fucking nuts. I am the Punisher.
The big bad Punisher.
Every maggot, every low-life piece of shit that I put down, I did it because I liked it. It's like, oh my god.
Well, you gonna send me to some nut house?
I watched a video a while back on like analyzing the Punisher, because he is kind of a psychopath.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And I was telling Logan, I was like, I don't know if they're gonna... Daredevil makes me hopeful, but obviously introducing Punisher, they're gonna use him, and I was like, I feel like they're gonna pull their punches a lot on Punisher.
Hopefully not,
because he does some really fucked up stuff.
Yeah, well, Daredevil already has, and I feel like Disney should care more about Daredevil, like, being good than Punisher. And John Bernthal always said he wouldn't come back as Punisher unless the script was good and was true to the character. So he could have just been thrown a bag. That never really, who knows? But
I know, there's a comic panel where there's this lady who's a quadriplegic, and he lights her on fire and kicks her out of a window.
What did she do?
I think she was like the the ringleader of like a human trafficking thing.
Yeah, he's a maniac.
So he didn't take too kindly to her methods. So he sent her on her way.
But yeah, overall, just really happy with Daredevil Born Again so far. Really excited for where it's going. It's better than I would have ever imagined so far.
No,
hopefully it stays this good. And we also watched episode 7 of Severance.
Yep.
Me and Carl weren't huge on it. We both came to the same conclusion that the episode reveals important information, but it did not need an entire episode to reveal that information, and it sort of moves way too slow.
Yeah, it hit me really hard because, to me, it feels like the very first filler episode of Severance. I feel like for the most part, every episode... You had to air that one out?
No.
Oh. I feel
Mind your business. I'm handling shit.
I feel like for the most part in Severance, every episode, it might not push the main narrative, but there's stuff going on. And that episode was just like maybe a handful of things happened. It's like, God dang.
Yeah, I mean, to me, filler is a tough word to describe it because to me, filler means the episode ends and like nothing happened at all. And that's not really what happened with Severance.
Yeah,
because like if someone told me, "Hey, can I skip last week's episode?" I'd say no. You have to watch it. There was important shit revealed.
Yeah.
So did it take too long, and was it a little boring for most of it? Yes, but I still wouldn't call it filler. To me, filler is something you can skip, and it wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, I guess technically it's not filler, but there is... How long is the episode?
Like 47 minutes.
You could probably watch like 17 minutes of it and be filled in.
Well, I think that it should have been like one of... normally like an episode has like 3 ongoing stories. It'll cut between like Any Mark and Outie Mark and Milchick or something.
Yeah, or it'll be like Any Mark and then Milchick and then like Helly or something.
Yeah, outside Irving. Like, there will be a lot of different stories going on. And I think that this Cobell storyline could have just been one of those like side stories in a normal episode.
Yeah.
And it didn't really need its own thing. But I guess they felt like since... I guess what they should have done is we saw Cobell like right at the beginning of the season, and then haven't seen her since. Basically, they should have been lacing this story in like throughout. Like every 15 minutes or so, you'll get like 5 more minutes of her going somewhere, and instead of making you watch the whole thing all at once, it should have been like spliced in throughout the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's probably my if I had to watch an episode of Severance again, both seasons, it'd probably be the last one I'd pick.
Oh, absolutely.
But I still am not going to be too hard on it and call it filler, because it was still well shot, well acted, and it still had information that we needed. Yeah,
it's also we don't know where they're going next, so it's hard to kind of tell right now that like maybe everything we saw was way more important than we thought. Maybe they wind up back at fucking Sissy's house and they see that guy again, whatever.
Yeah.
But it just, to me, it was a whole lot slower than everything else, and it didn't seem like there was a whole lot contributing and pushing the main narrative forward.
And it probably feels a lot worse because we're coming off of last week's episode.
I know. It was so fucking good.
We possibly just had the best episode of Severance right before the worst episode of Severance. Like,
do you think the guy that like did this episode looked back the last one and was like, "Oh fuck,
dude"? He was watching he was watching her episode in the editing room, and he was drinking water, and he went, "God damn!"
You guys fucking kidding me? I gotta go after that.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll talk about Severance next week probably, as long as we don't forget. Mm-hmm. And I know you watched Andor.
That's a great Stella and Scars. I did finish Andor finally.
Hell yeah! What'd you think? Was I right or was I right?
I'm definitely not as big on it as you. I'm bigger on certain things than you are. I guess we'll get into like mild spoilers about Andor. But there's kind
I
of
will get into full spoilers.
Full
if you don't wanna
spoilers?
hear Andor.
there's like
Spoilers,
3
skip
big
ahead.
events that happen in Andor. There's the heist, the prison break, and then the
Like the culmination.
the final
finale.
the finale. The heist, I feel like the end of the heist visually was awesome. 100% I agree with that. But the heist itself, I couldn't really get invested in as much as I would have liked. I didn't feel like a suspense from, what they were doing.
Oh.
The prison break was some of the best shit I've ever seen. 1,000%. The prison break, I was smiling the whole time. I wanted to blow up a post office or something. I wanted to stick it to the man like these guys did. It was so fucking cool. I've been wanting to shout "One Way Out" for days now. I just want to yell it at somebody and then take off running. It's so fucking good. That sequence is probably one of my favorite sequences in Star Wars.
Okay.
There's a couple probably above it, but the prison break, I could talk about it all fucking day, dude.
Yeah.
I love everything about the setting of it, the setup, the rules that they have to abide by, like the floors being electrified, their little pods, the aesthetic of everything, them working basically all day.
Also,
Andy Serkis.
I think I missed something because I was watching a review of Andor and somebody said, and it was such a cool detail to find out that the parts that they were building were parts for the Death Star. And I was like, I must not have been paying attention. I don't remember them saying that.
I guess I wasn't paying attention either.
Okay, maybe
you just have to know like what that part is before you watch the episode.
I don't know, but I guess that is, if that's true, that is a cool piece of little Easter egg.
Yeah, the reveal of like why they decided to escape was really cool. It felt so intense. And then Andy Serkis, his character Kilo, is so fucking cool.
Yeah, I watched your reaction to the end of the middle episode of the arc.
Yeah,
and it was so badass. Like it's
God
so
damn
awesome,
it,
dude.
You son of a bitch!
Never more than 12. Oh, dude,
He
suck me.
Finally feeds us the information.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's good shit. And I loved how the prison arc was caused by the heist arc. He's in prison because of an act that was instilled as a result of the heist, which, and like the heist was, in Andor's perspective, a success.
Yeah,
like they got away, had some casualties, part of the job, but got away with the money, didn't get caught, but still face repercussions because of it.
Yeah,
and I just thought that was so cool. It doesn't feel like something happens. Some shows it feels like events take place and then later in the show they don't matter anymore.
Yeah,
or like a movie examples like John Wick 3. Part of the reason I don't like John Wick 3 is because of the whole desert sequence and how like it's a big like wild goose chase and it never at the end of the movie it ends up not mattering.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that Andor sort of builds and it doesn't feel like one thing happens and then now it doesn't matter anymore. It all adds up.
It also like the political side of things, so that you have the main thing that's going on with Cassian, and then you have the political backdrop of like sneaking around in the shadows, and it's cool to see every action that the Empire takes now against people is only feeding the rebellion further. Like if they respond at all with any form of like strength, it just feeds into this fire that they've created, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a bit more interesting if I could rework the show to have Cassian be like a bit more of a scumbag and do the heist only for like profits, and then he gets arrested and kind of turns into a freedom fighter because of that, because of like his selfishness almost in the beginning. It's kind of what they're trying to do.
I mean,
I just wish there was a little bit more of a...
He's not exactly a great person.
Well, he doesn't do anything... Like, he steals, but he's stealing from the Empire, which we hate. So it's not like we view it as, like, a totally bad thing. I wish he was a little bit morally darker before that. But
Yeah.
this transition of him becoming this freedom fighter is really cool.
I guess he does. I think when the show starts, he's more so just like a little self-centered and like just sort of selfish and like just as trying to get along, like make some money. And he's definitely not like going out and helping people just because.
Yeah, no, he's not fucking Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, he's not necessarily a bad person, but he's just sort of like in his own lane and just wants to make money and move along.
But like
you said, after the prison arc, it changes him.
Yeah. I wish we could have just seen a little bit harder of a change in him, because it seems like Stellan recruits him, and like they kind of discuss that he does want to fight against the Empire because he doesn't like the Empire and like wants to help.
Dude, I didn't even ask you. Stellan's speech to that guy at the top of the elevator.
Oh,
that's like
my
one of the
God.
best scenes in Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
Talking about all the things he sacrificed for the rebellion.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because he's doing horrible things.
Yeah.
But he knows that these things have to be done. And he's like, I'm, fighting for a victory that I'll never see.
Yeah.
People are going to vilify me. They're going to hate me.
And that's okay. But it's what I had to do.
He's the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
He's a Dark Knight.
He's not the hero they deserve, but the one they need right now.
Yeah. They're going to chase him because he can take it. That's what I'm saying.
Because I'm Andor.
because of Cassian Andor. I really like that. The political stuff I wasn't super big on until post heist. I'd say probably like towards the prison sequence. Yeah, post heist. I wasn't really like locked into a lot of what they were doing, but
Okay.
I think that makes sense because the heist is what causes the political stuff to start having
More gravity.
meaning. Yeah, more gravity. I really like Forrest Whitaker Saul. I really like his character. Hopefully they use him more. I like Stellan Skarsgård. He's a fucking beast.
I love how there's no lightsabers, no Darth Vader, no Luke Skywalker, none of that shit. Just completely starting from scratch and just telling a great story that just happens to be set in Star Wars.
Yeah. And also the settings to these places.
Yeah. The
Actually
Lord of the Rings
exploring-
ass fucking location they picked for Aldani,
Yeah.
and then they go to the prison place. His like home, I don't know if it's his home, but like wherever he starts the show at.
I think that's where his mom is, so.
Okay, I can't remember. What's it called? That city?
I don't remember the name of it.
Damn it, I can't remember. But it's like Blade Runner vibes. It's like raining and got a bunch of lights
Yeah.
everywhere and just looks awesome. But yeah, it looks like they filmed on practical sets. When they're in Aldani and they're out in the mountains, like it's real sets and it looks real and it doesn't feel like other Star Wars. And to be fair, the recent Star Wars movies I think still look amazing. Some of the scripts aren't the best, mainly just Rise of Skywalker, but even Rise of Skywalker I think visually does look really good. I think the visuals are never a problem in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's the shows don't look as good. Mandalorian sort of looks okay, but it's a little stale. It's a lot of the same location.
That's
Book
what
of
I
Boba
was.
Fett didn't
Yeah,
look very
that's
good.
what I was getting at with like Mandalorian. I think visually it does look good, but they don't ever venture past what we've seen already.
Yeah.
And that was really almost every Star Wars movie except for the sequels, which is crazy to say, doesn't really venture out past a desert planet or like some futuristic slum. Mm-hmm. Those are the two settings you basically get. It's a space station, slum, or it's a desert.
Yeah.
And in Andor, you get that initial Blade Runner city, his hometown, which is like this slum, but it's not like most of the slums in Star Wars. There's like a guy giving out rations for like slave labor. This is like a mining town that you would see back in the day, but it's futuristic. It's like a futuristic boom town is what it is. And then he has this futuristic Miami place that I think, what's it called? Davos or something?
Yeah, something like
Namos, something.
I'll ask the question.
The futuristic Miami place, the fucking Lord of the Rings place for the heist, the garrison interior looked awesome, and then the prison looked fucking awesome.
The place that Mon Mothra's at,
Yes.
Coruscant.
Yes.
Yeah. That place looks awesome.
Her little like apartment.
Well, the city.
The city looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Coruscant's the city.
Okay.
Or the planet, or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, I got you.
The big place. Yeah.
The city looks cool. I really liked like all the little details. Them dropping that worm into the drink and it fizzling up.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but that's cool.
Hell yeah. Yeah, big Andor guy. You eventually came around on it. Not as high as I am on it. I still stand by. I think it's as good as Penguin. I prefer Penguin a little more because it's Batman versus Star Wars. That's just my preference. But in terms of quality, I think they're the same.
I can tell you right now, if the prison sequence wasn't in Andor, boo.
That's crazy.
I would have a lot less fun.
That's crazy.
The prison sequence is huge for me.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Andor.
That's Andor.
Yeah. I'm glad you eventually... It was rough at the beginning. You were not loving it.
Yeah, I feel like my problems with the heist kind of stand. You know,
You're a little not smart. That's all right. We'll move on. I got my trivia ready.
all right,
Guess the film by the cast.
okay,
Adam Driver,
got it.
Alec Baldwin, AB, Paul Walter Hauser.
That's a Star Wars movie.
Nope.
No,
Nope. Paul Walter Hauser's in Star Wars?
I thought so. Maybe I'm totally fucking wrong.
I mean, he was in Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I know who he was in Cobra Kai.
He was Stingray.
Yeah, I know. He's
You look like a Star Wars fan, no offense.
no offense. Let me think.
Have
here.
you seen
Adam
that?
Driver? The skit?
What I
Oh,
just
wait.
said.
That's from Cobra Kai?
No.
No, I haven't seen it.
You think you look like a Star Wars fan, no offense, is from Cobra Kai?
I thought that might have been.
No. Adam Driver said that. He hosted SNL and he sat down next to a guy.
Oh,
He said, "You look like a Star Wars fan, no offense."
what an asshole!
Yeah.
I don't know if I noticed. The only
I kind of thought this would be easy.
anytime I hear Hauser, I think of Richard Jewell,
Yep.
and Adam Driver's not in that.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of Adam Driver movies. It's definitely not 65. I can tell you that.
Yep.
It's not Megalop. It's not any of the Star Wars movies. That leaves Dead Don't Die, but I haven't seen that, and I don't think either of them's in it. I don't think either of those people are in Marriage Story. I don't know.
Black Klansman.
Holy shit. I forgot Hauser was in that.
Yep.
And Baldwin.
And Driver.
Yeah.
Because you didn't fucking say it.
I totally forgot about that movie, but it's so good.
Yep.
That was a good one.
What are the last 3 films that Steven Spielberg directed?
Fablemans.
1.
The last 3. Ugh, I suck at this.
No way.
Well, I can name like movies, but like chronologically, I can't like come up with them. I really don't know what he did before that. It seemed like there was a big like time.
Okay, so
gap.
just name recent Steven Spielberg movies you can think.
Everything I can think of is old.
What are the most recent ones you can think of?
I'm trying to like get the years out in my head.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I don't know. Everything I'm thinking of is like from the fucking 80s.
Okay, so let's just start naming Steven Spielberg movies. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Jaws.
Yeah, that's not it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got Jaws, like Jurassic Park, like all that shit. I can't think of anything like from like the 2000s.
You can't think of anything from the 2000s?
I don't think so. Everything I'm thinking of, I think, came out in the 80s.
Holy shit, son.
I feel like he did something I watched recently. I don't think he did AI.
I can give you the 2 years they came out. I just don't think that would help you.
I don't think so either. Did he do AI?
He did, but that was
I think that was
10 films ago. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say I think that was in the 2000s.
yeah. You're looking for 2021 and 2018.
Holy mackerel! I don't know.
I just watched one recently, and you don't like it.
I don't like the movie.
No.
What?
Ready Player One.
Oh, I forgot he made that. Yeah, I don't like that movie. That's a bit of a stinker.
West Side Story.
Yeah, I forgot West Side Story existed.
You're a dumb guy. What?
West Side Story is actually, when we watched that, I was very blown away by how, like...
It's really good.
It's really good, but I wasn't expecting, like, that hardcore of a story, like a murder and stuff.
Yeah.
From, you think West Side Story, you think a musical, like... That's not what you think of, like, gang wars.
Yeah. I see clips of West Side Story a lot on Twitter, and that movie... Steven Spielberg definitely made that movie. It is so well directed. I want to rewatch it one day. I haven't seen it since theaters.
Me too.
What restaurant did John Travolta and Uma Thurman go to in Pulp Fiction?
That was Jack Rabbit Phil's.
You're 2/3 of the way there.
Jack Rabbit Bill's?
You're not. If that's your path of guessing, you're not going to get it. It's not a name.
Jack Rabbit Slim.
Yeah.
Slims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plural, yeah. Slims, yeah. What about the burger place from that Brett was eating?
Hawaiian Burger?
No.
Big Kahuna Burger.
Yep.
That's why I thought Hawaiian.
That's that Hawaiian joint, isn't it?
That's a Hawaiian joint, right? That is
It's a tasty burger. That's it for my trivia.
All right, I got mine.
Yeah.
All right. What year did the Peter Jackson King Kong release?
2005.
Hell yeah. What are the aliens called in Edge of Tomorrow?
Oh, I haven't seen that. I watched that once.
I knew that would get you. I
watched that once.
Their names are, I remember because they're the names of a very similar creature in a video game that I played.
I don't know.
Mimics.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that.
What was the name given to Caesar's mom from Planet of the Apes?
Caesar's mom?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Caesar an orphan?
Nope. Well, I mean, his mom dies, and then he gets adopted by James Franco.
I'm trying to remember Caesar's mom dying.
Mm-hmm. The doctors call her a name due to the side effect of the drug that they have been developing.
Oh, right. Something to do with eyes, right?
Correct, yeah.
Like green eyes or blue eyes or...
You're close. You're really close.
Is it a color and then eyes?
It's not a color. It's got something to do with... like colors can be this thing.
Bright eyes?
Yep.
Oh.
There you go. There you go. I was going to ask you what the disease was that people were catching, but I thought you would get that too fast.
The name... Well, it was... James Franco's using it to try to cure his dad's Alzheimer's.
It would be the later
ALZ something.
No, I'm talking about like what
Simian
Woody
flu?
Harrelson. Yeah, simian flu.
Yeah. All right.
We lost our ambiance.
Yeah, we
dude.
lost our night ambiance. Cinemarathon. It's time.
Let's do it.
You go first, Chief. Having a little trouble walking, Chief?
Let's think here. Let's run through the notions. I'm gonna go Anchorman.
Oh, let's go. Anchorman. Let's go Ant-Man.
Ooh. Let's go Falling Down. That's the only thing I could think of. Oh no, let's go The Game. Sorry.
The Game.
Yeah, Falling Down. I feel like would have boxed you in a little bit.
Let's go. Well, that's the point.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't want to end it like there.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you would have boxed me in. Well, I could have used a pass, I guess, but I'm gonna go Mystic River.
Ooh,
because I know one man from The Game, and it's Scene Peen.
it's Scene Peen. All right, I could shut things down right now.
I mean, that's the goal.
All right, I'm gonna go. This Must Be the Place.
I mean, I'll use my skip. I mean, holy shit,
dude! If you get a second,
I'd be lying if I said I've ever heard of that movie.
If you get a second, look it up and look how fucking insane.
I'm not
Sean Penn.
Well, now
Sean
I hate
Penn,
this movie, so I'm not gonna look it up.
Sean Penn is a goth. Or no, he's not a goth. He's like a rock star, but he looks like a goth.
Well, I'm not looking it up now because it eliminated me.
Okay. No, it's just a pass.
I'm gonna go with Mad Max Fury Road.
Ooh. Fury Road. I'm gonna go Happy Feet. No, I'm messing with you. I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, do it.
No. I'm gonna go.
Why not?
Just I wanna keep things clean. Keep things clear.
Keep things clear. Are you underestimating me?
No, I know you. I know you know your Happy Feet, dude. You think I don't?
Obviously not.
You think I think you don't know your Happy Feet?
Well, obviously not, because you're not guessing it.
I'm gonna go Inception.
Now that's nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now that is something.
You want to talk about going places?
I'm going to go... So many options. I mean, what a cast, you know?
My name is Mr. Charles. I've been training you. I've been training you for an attack just like this.
I'm going to go Brick.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Brickinator. I haven't seen Brick.
Me neither. But that rule does not apply to this, so...
I know. Someone else is in Brick.
I'm sure there is someone else. But not someone that we know.
I was gonna make a joke, but I couldn't remember who I said I thought directed Brick. Do you remember?
Brian De Palma.
Oh, yeah.
Scarface.
I got the old pass on Brick, dude. I don't know shit about Brick. Directed by Brian De Palma. Yeah.
You said that's one of the craziest scoop lures there is, because you thought that Brick, by the way, you're officially using your pass, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brick, directed by Rian Johnson. You thought that it was directed by Brian De Palma, and you also thought that the clip from Brick was actually a clip from Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
You were like, yeah, dude, Brian De Palma directed this movie called Brick, where this homeless guy was in this dream sequence.
Yeah.
And I was like, those are three different things. That's Brian De Palma, and then there's Brick, and then there's Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
You're combining them all into one for some reason.
You could say I got lost in the weeds on that. I got a little tore up.
I think someone took you out back, gave you the old dirty.
I think Mr. Charles
You
led me
weren't
down the
thinking
primrose
straight.
path.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay.
All right, so we're 2 passes down.
Yeah.
So now I have to
You
start.
get it back. You get the rock.
I get the pine.
Yep. Get the old Chris Pine.
I'm going to go Dead Poets. God bless.
I'm gonna go ones and zeros.
All right. That was pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up what you just did to me.
It's actually zeros and ones.
See, you're disqualified.
Right.
You're cheating. I can see it in your eyes. Mark it 0. No, I'm out. For
That
sure.
was-
With ones and zeros, I am out.
Yeah, that was a crazy pull by me.
Yeah.
You know, we
Is that
agreed.
Ethan Hawke?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Ethan Hawke, yeah.
You said that was garbage, right?
Yeah, it's bad news. But we agreed to be cutthroat on this game. So I wanted you to pick Happy Feet.
I knew you would box me in with Happy Feet. That's why I didn't do it.
I wouldn't have boxed you in.
I don't know anyone that's in Happy Feet.
I was going to pull George Miller and do 3,000 Years of Longing. And you would have had Idris Elba and Tilda Swinton's 5,000 movies.
Oh. I can let me tell you what would have happened. You would have said 3,000 Years of Longing, and I would have said, I've never heard of that.
What?
Even though I've seen the trailer, I forgot that movie existed. I forgot, like, who was in it. So I wouldn't have been able to say Tilda Swinton or Idris. So.
Yeah, you're just not built for this.
I'm glad I would have I would have gotten fucked if I did Happy Feet, which was my initial suspicion.
Yeah.
But no, we're cutthroat. I just don't want it to be like the very if I had done a movie, if I did Dead Poets and you said ones and zeros and that was just the game, I didn't want that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to throw in some easy ones.
You got to warm up and then
But when both passes are done, you're a sharpshooter.
Laser.
I mean, fuck chivalry.
yeah.
This is we're handling business.
This is the fucking octagon, dude.
Yeah. But I got my bad description.
All right.
Man in Oklahoma makes a living by getting sucked.
By getting sucked.
Do you instantly know it or have an idea?
No.
Okay, good. So it wasn't too easy.
No. I'm trying to think of movies where a guy gets sucked.
I mean, think about the best movies ever made. There they are.
There they are. It's not Brokeback Mountain. What the fuck could this be? I don't think he's actually getting sucked. Or maybe he is, but he's not getting sucked by men, which I would instantly know it if it was men.
Yeah.
It could be women. This is Oklahoma?
Yeah, Oklahoma.
Yeah, boo women. Boo. Boo.
Yeah, Oklahoma.
Holy cow. This is a good one.
Thanks. I've improved since two bald guys fight Idris Elba.
Yeah, I don't think it's Boogie Nights because that would have been. I don't think they're in Oklahoma. I haven't seen Boogie Nights.
That's a good call.
That makes me think like Twister. Is it Twisters?
Yeah. No, it's Twister.
Whoa! Holy cow!
Yeah.
That was awesome. Because Twisters suck you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oklahoma was a huge help. I'm glad you put that in there.
Yeah. I thought it had to be in there.
Yeah. No, that was.
I thought Oklahoma being in it was necessary, but also would make it too easy. So I'm glad it wasn't too easy.
Let me tell you something. If you open up the textbook to what this is supposed to be, that right there should be the description.
Am I going to show you up this week with my description?
You're going to get mine pretty easy, I think.
Oh, okay.
So you definitely, that was the perfect It couldn't have been better than what you just did.
Awesome.
I want you to know that.
I appreciate
All right.
that. My good pal.
My one is a man tries to hide a double life despite wearing $800 suits and changing cars more than most guys change their shoes. Yeah, there you
That
go.
was way too specific.
Yeah, despite wearing $800 suits, I wear $5,000 gold watch.
You could have made a joke about his pointy shoulders.
I thought I was going to say despite having incredible shoulders.
Man with incredible shoulders hides double life. Yeah. That should have been the description.
That would have been a lot better. See, you're better at this than I am, dude. Shoulder man hides a double life.
Oh, man. All right. My Letterboxd review. By Hoover, 4.5 stars.
Classic Hoover.
That box had Timothy Chalamet moaning. What if he had put his wiener in it, lol?
That's Dune.
Yeah.
All right. I've got mine.
Okay.
Mine that I picked out, if this is the guy's name and not just like some username, I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Imasige.
Yep, I know him.
I think 5-star. Stunning visuals, captures the American spirit and what it means to stay young.
Oh, Top Gun Maverick?
Nope.
You're smiling like it's a joke.
No, that's what this guy's review said.
17 again?
Nope. 17 again is not the American spirit. The movie that this guy's talking about, American Spirit.
Yeah, but he said what it means to stay young.
Yeah.
He's 17 again.
No.
American Spirit. Okay, American movies.
Yeah.
Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick. Platoon. Born on the 4th of July. Stand By Me. The Sandlot. Gotta be one of those. Let's go with fucking American Sniper.
Nope.
Black Hawk Down.
It's not a military.
Zero Dark 30.
It's not a military
Saving
movie.
Private Ryan.
It's not
Hacksaw Ridge.
It's not a war.
So you said it's definitely a war movie. Jarhead.
Do you want me to tell you?
Sure.
It's Wild Hogs.
Let's fucking go.
True Wild Hogs. And I just found the most pure, like, honest, like, sweet review.
Let's fucking go.
The guy's got taste, dude.
Yeah. That's
Holy
awesome.
cow, yeah.
This is a Wild Hogs podcast.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, if you haven't seen Wild Hogs, get to it.
This rolls into our next segment. How great is Wild Hogs?
Yeah. Our weekly Wild Hogs segment.
Dude, I thought that was so funny to do, like, a real serious review. And
Yeah.
then some Wild Hogs.
Yeah. That's good shit right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that is everything, and now we can just get into the old Watcherino.
The old watch.
I'll go first, like normal. Don't know why. That's just how it's always been. We're not going to change it now.
Well, I can tell you right now, I have 2 on my watch list, and both of them I watched with you, so just run through your watch list.
All right, sounds good. I watched The Nice Guys.
Awesome.
What a surprise. What a surprise this is. I've talked at quite a length about The Nice Guys on here, so I don't want to waste time, but there is one joke that, for some reason, it had never really like clicked with me before, and ever since I watched this, I've been saying it in my head on repeat every day for some reason. But it's when they fall down the hill, he finds Sid Shattuck's body, and they're carrying it, and Ryan Gosling's like stumbling around, and he's like, "How many drinks have you had?" He's like 2, and he's like, "You've had more than 2. You can't even walk in a straight line." And he's like, "Okay, I just fell down the hill, and now I'm carrying this guy, and I've got a schwanz in my face, so I'm sorry if I'm not Bekishnerov." And then he goes, You can't even say Baryshnikov!
I remember that joke, but I don't know what they're referencing.
Baryshnikov is of that time period, he was a ballet dancer.
You can't even say Baryshnikov.
So for some reason,
2 drinks.
that line stuck out to me so much, and I've been just walking around the house. You can't even say Baryshnikov, just like on repeat. I cannot get that out of my head.
Oh, that whole sequence is so fun. You were in the pool?
I was questioning the mermaids. What were you doing while I was working?
Dude, they're insane together. I fucking love that movie.
It's a perfect movie.
When you said Nice Guys, I was going to do the Mayor of Whoville. Who could have imagined this? When the Grinch crashes the bar. just right on cue.
Yeah, it's what can you say about The Nice Guys? I mean, it's one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah.
Everyone loves it.
The only complaint you can really have with The Nice Guys is not enough penis.
There's not another one. That's the only
Yeah, there's not another one.
That's the only complaint you can really have.
Not
But
enough male genitalia.
but we can get the Gray Man 2. We can get Red 1.
We are getting the Gray Man 2, aren't we?
Well, they said we were, but I don't think we are anymore.
But them saying that is more than we've ever gotten from
Yeah.
Nice Guys 2.
Yeah, but we'll get Red 1, and we'll get fucking what's some other dog shit?
Any Amy Schumer movie?
I mean,
She just did a movie. Kinda Pregnant.
I'm kind of gonna blow my brains out.
I'm kinda gonna blow my brains.
But yeah, The Nice Guys, best shit ever made. Yeah. Then I watched fucking Face Off.
Dude, I am so mad. I didn't realize you had not seen Face Off, and I didn't even know you were watching it.
You were at work, and it was Saturday. You were like teaching a class or at work, and I had to watch something, and this was when we were also planning on watching Bong. So I was like, well, when Carl gets home, we'll have to watch Bong. So I need to get this out of the way. And Face Off is fucking awesome.
It's so good, dude.
It's so fucking good,
I love
dude.
Face Off.
Face Off is such a great concept that even though the original movie's really good, I want a remake of it. I want a modern retelling of Face Off, which like I never say when the original movie's good, I don't want a remake of it. Yeah. I gave it a 4-star. I gave Face Off a 4. Yeah. I think it's amazing, but it's such a good concept to only use once.
Yeah,
like you can't just use it once. You can just remake it like every 30 years with like 2 of the top actors.
Yeah,
just think of like 2 actors who it would be funny to see impersonate each other.
Yeah,
and you can just have a blast just with that.
I could definitely see them doing the new Face Off, Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart.
If they did that, I'd pull my face off and I'd send it to Netflix. No, and I'd say you did this.
Would you do a remake, and would you keep it goofy?
Oh, I'd keep it goofy, but it's a little tangent. Let's each pick 2 actors to face off. If we were remaking it today.
You're going to put me on the spot like that?
And I'm not trying, like, obviously my 2 favorite actors are just Ryan Gosling, Jake Gyllenhaal, but I'm trying to pick, like, 2 that would be distinctly funny to see impersonate each other.
Yeah.
I think one of mine is going to be Tom Cruise.
Okay.
And the other one I'm going to say is... You're going to not like this. Actually, no. I was going to say Michael Cera. But I'm going to say Jesse Eisenberg.
That's better.
Tom Cruise acting like Jesse Eisenberg and vice versa.
Oh, my God.
Like 2 polar opposites.
That would be nuts.
I feel like that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be good. I instantly pulled... I wanted to see someone act like Danny McBride.
That'd be good.
Which would be huge.
Seth Rogen?
No, I wanted to be someone like super professional, and then they're like
Giancarlo Esposito and Danny McBride.
I was gonna say someone like John Hamm or something to be Danny McBride, but I don't want John Hamm. I want someone like Christian Bale as Danny McBride.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
But the problem with that
I had the
is
goddamn Spoon Man from the fucking Soundgarden music videos. My birthday party.
my life
Left
is
goddamn
fucking
Steven
over.
back in camp.
Yeah. The only problem is I feel like it wouldn't be as funny to see Danny McBride act like Christian Bale.
Oh, no, it would. Him being super serious, doing a British accent.
You
kidding me?
That would be
It'd
funny.
be hilarious. That's great. Yeah, but I loved Face Off.
Face Off is so good.
It was I think it was my first John Woo movie. And he's the man. Oh, no, Mission Impossible 2 I'd seen. But he's the man.
Yeah.
Are you the man? Yeah, John Woo's the man. John Woo is who Michael Bay thinks he is.
Yeah.
The action is insane. The boat chase at the end of the movie,
Dude.
like hanging off the side of the boat, like that's some next level shit.
Yeah.
And so the action's really good, and it's just such a fucking ridiculous movie, dude. John Travolta pretending to be Nick Cage pretending to be John Travolta. The only thing that sucks about it is that John Travolta's character is like a really stern, like serious guy.
Yeah.
So Nick Cage has to play that, which isn't as fun. But seeing John Travolta play Nicolas Cage is the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ooh wee, I'm good looking. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh, God.
It's so nuts, dude. There's so many funny lines with John Travolta. Like,
I could eat a peach for hours.
I could eat a peach for hours. I want to take his face off. Like, that's just holy shit. And the concept, dude, like, when the movie was playing out, I was like, this is wild. Like, John Travolta plays, I guess if you haven't seen Face Off, I'll give you the rundown because I think the synopsis is really fucking cool. But John Travolta's like a detective cop guy, and Nicolas Cage is this batshit insane terrorist, basically, psychopath. And Nick Cage, quote unquote, dies, and his brother knows the location of a bomb. Nicolas Cage's brother, and he'll only tell Nicolas Cage. He'll only trust his brother to tell him where it is. So John Travolta does a procedure to put Nicolas Cage's face on. He becomes Nicolas Cage, so he'll trick Nicolas Cage's brother into telling him where the bomb is so they can defuse it. And so he gets the procedure done, he goes to meet his brother, and then while he's out, doing this, talking with his brother, Nicolas Cage wakes up from his coma, puts on John Travolta's skin, and then burns the place down. So anyone who knew about the mission and knew that they swapped bodies is now dead, and all the technology that did the swap is also destroyed now.
Yeah.
So John Travolta in Nicolas Cage's body gets sent to prison because he's in Nicolas Cage's body and he's a terrorist.
Yeah.
And now Nicolas Cage is in John Travolta's body going home and fucking his wife.
Yeah, running amok.
It's so fucking crazy, dude. It's so much fun, dude. I will be surprised if anyone can watch Face Off and not just have an amazing time.
No, it's a party movie, dude.
It is.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. It is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, dude. I love shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
I feel that way about that, and like Big Trouble Little China is just so ridiculous. I'm like, this is, and I was smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
Face Off is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I would have probably skipped work if I knew you were watching Face Off. I'd have been like, hey man, I know I said Saturday, but it's not gonna happen.
I didn't realize you were so like fond of it.
Yeah.
I probably would have
It's been
waited.
forever since I've seen it. I need to rewatch it.
Yeah. But that is a fucking film.
Yeah.
Then I watched Tangled. It was pretty good. I don't have any thoughts on it. It's all right. I mean,
Didn't like old Flynn Rider.
he was one of the more entertaining parts of the movie.
You know, Tangled is kind of just a.
It's fine.
Eh.
Yeah, it's all right. But as you guys know, I hate animated movies, so
You're
that's probably
broadening
it.
your horizons.
Yeah, I'm joking, by the way. I don't hate animated
Yeah.
movies, but I tend to not be in love with them as much as other people, unless it's like
you don't like a
the
lot
classics.
Yeah, you don't like a lot of the very kid-friendly animated movies. You like.
Well, I love Toy Story though. I love Toy Story and the
Toy
Incredibles.
Story is it's like it's completely different animal, though.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you can't compare Toy Story to your typical kids animated movie. I'm talking about like your Big Hero 6.
I think you're right.
Your Inside Out, stuff like that.
Because when I think about my favorite animation, it's Spider-Verse movies.
Mask of the Phantasm.
Like I loved Suzumi, which was like an adult anime. I like Akira and Perfect Blue, and I do love Incredibles, Monsters Inc., Iron Giant.
Yeah.
But
all those movies.
But Pixar, like 90s and 2000s Pixar had like a way of targeting the masses and not just kids.
Correct.
And now with like Tangled, I'd say like Tangled is more so a kids movie.
Ratatouille is pretty fire too.
Yeah, 2000s, yeah.
Yeah.
But Tangled it was fun. It didn't like bother me or anything, but I didn't love it.
I really want you to watch Beauty and the Beast.
I do need to do that.
And you should probably rewatch Tarzan.
Really?
Yeah. If you gave it a 3, then you must have like,
must have had my eyes closed the whole time.
Something didn't click.
I must have like replaced my smart brain with like shit for brains.
What it is, you didn't take your face off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have taken my face. Oh. Then I saw Andor in theaters.
Now that's awesome. Yeah.
I was nervous that Andor wouldn't be as good on rewatch because of the first act. Won't get into spoilers since it's a newer movie, but there's just a character in the first act that on first watch you don't know where it's going. And then on rewatch, obviously, you know what happens with that character. And I thought that would present some struggles rewatching it, but it didn't. I liked it even more this go round.
Holy cow.
I had it at a 4. I bumped it up to a 4.5. And the runtime flies by. It's such a fun movie to watch because Mikey Madison's just electric.
She's nuts.
She's electric in the role, and it has that like Uncut Gems like type of pacing where it's just constantly moving. People always talking over each other, and the movie really takes off for me once someone leaves a house, and then there's a big basically from that point to the rest of the movie, I think it's like fantastic. It's absolutely flawless. And but that scene in the mansion is so funny.
It's hilarious.
It's so I have trouble like explaining why it's so funny because it's so much physical stuff and it's so much of the editing, which we talked about earlier. We don't really notice editing much, but I noticed the editing a lot in Andor, especially after him winning Best Editing and like me paying attention to it a little more. Mm-hmm. But his editing in the mansion sequence is so sharp and so fucking good. And those little cuts back to Toros driving in the car, and it'll be like Igor and the other guy, I forgot his name, the bigger guy with the beard. But they're like trying to stop Andor from leaving, and they're like, no, stop. And Igor would be like, she's leaving. And then it would cut to Toros in the car on the phone, and he'd be like, is she leaving? And he's like repeating everything that they're saying.
And then they're like struggling. He's like, what the fuck are you doing to her?
Are you killing her? Are you killing her?
Toros just losing his
It's like
mind.
him repeating everything that is happening, like you're seeing it happen, and then he's like responding to it on the phone, and the editing and the timing of it is so good. And there's so many like she kicks the big guy in the nose and like breaks his nose.
Yeah.
And they run with that bit the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
It is so
like, concussed.
Yeah, him being concussed the rest of the movie.
Guys, I really don't feel good. He's like almost passed out.
Yeah.
From a broken nose.
And Toro shows up and he's like, why do you have her tied up? She's a little girl, let her go. And then he's like, be careful, man. Bro. Yeah, she's dangerous, man. Holding his nose back.
Be careful, bro.
And then he starts untying her and he goes, no.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then they're at like a diner and she's making fun of Igor. She's like, give me one of those pills. And he's like, no. And she's like, you fucking hear me? Give me one of those pills. He's like, don't have them. And I'm not drug dealer.
I am not drug dealer.
Yeah, and she said, no, you don't have him because you're a faggot ass bitch. And then he goes, why am I faggot ass bitch? No, he leans over to the other guy that speaks Russian, and he asks in Russian. He says, "What does faggot ass bitch mean?" And then he tells him, and he goes back to Honora. He's like, "Why am I faggot ass bitch?"
I think he does that a lot. He asks her why he is a certain thing.
Yeah, like later in the movie, she said that if there was no one else at the house, he would have raped her. And he's like, "Why?"
But I am not rapist.
Because you would have. Why?
Yeah.
Because you have rape eyes. Raped eyes?
Raped eyes. Oh, Igor.
Yeah,
Getting
Igor is Don't Tell Toros.
Don't Toros.
Yeah, so I think the comedy is really good, and the visuals really stuck out to me this time.
It's also, it is a sweet movie.
Yeah, it has a sweet ending, and it has some really great character work, and the visuals really stuck out to me this time. They use a lot of shallow focus lenses, and the lights in the background of shots are like blurred, and it's just really visually pleasing to look at. And I love the color grading, especially the club scenes are lit really well.
Yeah.
Very visually interesting almost all the time. And the scenes of them, like when they're in, I think they're in New York, but they're on like a pier and they're walking around trying to find Ivan.
Yeah.
And it's like sunset, and they're just walking on a pier at sunset, and it just looks fucking awesome.
That's when he gives her the scarf?
Yeah, he gives her the scarf.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
yeah,
about.
That
it's
scene
like a
looks
boardwalk
incredible.
that they're walking across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it went up for me on rewatch. I didn't expect that, but
what'd you have, 4 to 4.5?
4 to 4.5, yeah, and I could see it going up to a 5 maybe on rewatch.
If the comedy holding up is huge.
Yeah,
That's
I'm like laughing kind of the whole time.
Yeah,
like it's not super funny at the beginning, but like I said, once Ivan leaves the house, it turns into like just a full on comedy.
Yeah,
but also with a good story and good characters and good visuals and acting and editing and everything. So I'm really especially on second watch, I'm really happy that it got all the love that it did at the Oscars, because it was well deserved. And then the last thing was The Untouchables.
The Untouchables,
which I will admit towards the end I was getting a little sweepy.
I noticed,
but I just wasn't all that into it as much as I thought I would be. For like, you hear Brian De Palma, BDP, gangster film from the 80s with Sean Connery, Kevin Costner, and Rob De Niro.
Yeah. BDP?
Like,
Director of Brick?
Yeah. Boner Penis. Boner Dick Penis?
Boner Dick Penis?
Yeah. I thought I would, love it. But there was something about it. It just didn't really grab me.
There's a lot of weird choices. There's, instances where they're attacking they're shooting against these gangsters, and they play very heroic Indiana Jones music. And
the music choices they are some of the weirdest music choices I've ever seen in a movie.
The music was great. I liked the song that played.
Well, it's great in a vacuum.
That's what I'm saying.
If you heard the song, you'd be like, this is a good song.
If they were running from a train or something, something cool. But
even then, I don't think that song belongs in The Untouchables.
Not at all.
Then there were multiple times that happened. I was like, dude, what in the fuck is this?
Yeah.
It just didn't fit at all. And it's not like you have to have time period accurate music. It's not like you have to have fucking jazz because it's in the 20s or 30s.
You just have to have something to convey the tone of the moment. And I don't think ambushing.
They were playing Paddington music.
Yeah, ambushing
in a gangster film.
Gangsters in a gunfight is something that you play that song for.
It was very weird.
Yeah, I noticed that first thing. Kevin Costner is not good in the movie.
Yeah, well, I was going to bring this up. We were talking about it. I feel like Kevin Costner is a lot closer to Keanu Reeves than people admit. Where in certain roles they can be really good, but they're very limited and not good at a lot of things. And Kevin Costner doesn't do accents. And he just sticks out like a sore thumb in this movie.
Yeah.
Sean Connery is acting circles around him.
Oh, yeah.
And so is Robert De Niro.
And Sean Connery's just talking like himself.
Yeah.
But somehow, some way that fits better than Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
I have no idea how. I don't know how he made that happen. But Sean Connery, his charisma is incredible. Mm-hmm. And Sean Connery's kind of always had that. He's kind of a menace.
Yeah. But Kevin Costner just felt so out of place to me
Yeah.
in this movie. And I feel like he may have made me not like the movie, like,
Yeah.
a good amount.
And it sucks because Stone, Andy Garcia's in it. And he's good. And then that other little guy, I don't remember his name, but he's in Deep Cover. He was good too. Like Kevin Costner was the weakest point of the entire cast, which is nuts. And then I feel like there's also, the idea that they're going up against Al Capone. This is Prohibition days. I feel like we don't get a ton of Al Capone.
Yeah.
And you casted Robert De Niro to play him.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild to not use that.
And his scenes are really good. You just
His scenes
don't
are
get a
great.
lot.
There's just there's 3 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. There's just something... I don't think the music really held it back. It was just something I noticed, and I was like, that was so weird.
Yeah.
But I gave it a 3.5. Probably too high. But I think I gave it a courtesy, half star, because I was getting sleepy, and I just gave it the benefit of the doubt. But it was, okay, but it just never really grabbed me like I thought it would.
I gave it a 3, and I thought a 3 was, pretty good. Because I gave it extra points for the train station sequence, which I really love the train station sequence. Mm-hmm. I liked the recruiting sequence. There's just a couple of things that I really liked and I thought was really well done. The train station sequence is obviously the coolest thing ever. But it is kind of boring.
I just realized that I gave L.A. Confidential a 3.5, so I'm lowering The Untouchables.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
L.A. Confidential is a lot better.
Yeah.
I just moved The Untouchables down to a 2.5.
Yeah.
Which doesn't feel right inside, but
I gave it a 3 off rip, but I haven't really thought about it.
Yeah, it's a very nothing movie.
Yeah.
I doubt people would watch that and be like, dude, you got to check out The Untouchables.
Yeah.
But that's it for me. So now it's time to get into the big kahuna of the week. Mm-hmm. Mickey17.
More like Mickey17.
Whoa, now
Come
settle
on.
down, you jokester.
You jokester.
Mickey17, directed by Bong Joon-ho, starring one of the best actors working today, Robert Pattinson.
Rob Pat.
Bong's follow-up to Parasite, 6 years later. Don't know what the hell he's been doing all that time, but hey, we're here.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
You bastard.
I'm sorry.
We're almost done.
I know. I was holding out. Can't wait anymore. It is just a number 1 though.
You can't hold a number 1?
I've been holding it for a while, dude.
Just fucking go. I'll entertain them. Just fucking hurry up. Just fucking hurry up. My fucking co-host, dude.
Do Bob.
Now, so first he's gonna piss during the scoop, and then he's gonna tell me what to do. He's gonna tell me what impression to do. What if I don't feel like doing Bob? What if I feel like doing Dylan? What if I feel like doing Don't Talk? What if I feel like doing something new? What if I want to do my Michael Caine? What if I want Shaw or Ruby the size of a tangerine? He didn't know I was going to do that. He's in there taking a piss like an idiot. Like a big, dumb, stupid idiot with shit for brains, because that's what he is. That's what he is. That's not what I am. I sit here, I do cool shit, I do Bob Dylan impressions, I do Michael Caine impressions, and that's what the fuck I do. Oh, look at this big dumb idiot. He's back in his big stupid robe.
I figured you'd be talking shit.
That's
what you do to entertain the people?
Did you do your wee-wee?
Didn't you shit a while back?
Before the episode started? Yeah,
No,
I did.
during an episode. You were the first ever bathroom break in the middle of a scoop. You broke first. I had my moment of weakness. I didn't pick on you. And now, look, what are you doing to me? You're pointing the finger at me.
Yeah, because you stopped to pee.
Yeah, dude, I'm pounding brewskis.
You stopped to pee. I stopped to unload a chopper. And those are two different things. Peas you can always hold.
No, dude, this was getting bad.
No.
I was sweating.
You're sweating because
I
you're
was sweating.
senile.
I mean, I am old. I'm old as hell, dude.
You can't hold in a poop sometimes. Sometimes.
Not sometimes.
You gotta let it go.
A lot of times.
For you, a lot of times, yeah. But for me, I can pretty much hold it in most of the time. But pee, you can always hold it in. Come on.
Nah, dude. My old wiener can't hold it, dude.
Mickey17.
Mickey17.
That's what we were discussing.
So this is the follow-up to Parasite.
Yep. So I was disappointed by it because it's Bong and because it's Robert Pattinson and I have high expectations. But it's still a good movie. And it's still a decently fun time.
I will say, like, Robert Pattinson didn't do anything wrong. I think he was fantastic.
Oh, no. He's amazing.
Yeah.
He is proving film after film that he's one of the best actors working. And everyone that watches this movie, even if they don't like it, everyone comes away saying, you have to watch it just for Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
He's doing something so impressive, playing multiple characters on screen together at the same time. And he's doing this physical comedy stuff that he's never done before.
Yeah.
Really, comedy in general, I guess he hasn't really done before. But, like, he's doing a lot of physical comedy that he's just building such a resume on himself. And it is so impressive. And I read the book Mickey17, and I was telling Carl about this. This will be a spoiler discussion.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to hear that, you'll have to not listen to this. But in the book, the whole them not trying to get caught as duplicates is the whole book. That's what the book is Mickey17 and 18 like swapping shifts and like trying to do things to not get caught, because if you get caught and they find out you're duplicates, they'll kill you because duplicates are not allowed. So that's like the whole conflict of the book. And in the movie, they like pretty much skip over that. Mickey18 shows up, they have a little scene where they interact, and then like 10 minutes later, Mickey18 goes and tries to kill Mark Ruffalo. Yeah. And then everyone now knows that they're duplicates. And it's like that entire conflict that the book centered around is resolved. Well, not resolved, but like everyone already knows they're duplicates instantly, basically. So I feel like that took a lot of the tension, and like what made the book interesting, it removed that. And I thought going in that, I've always said Mickey7's not like a great book or anything, but I thought it made for good material to adapt. And it didn't really feel like Bong improved it that much, especially taking out the thing that made it the most interesting. He also changed Stephen Yeun's character a lot. And in the book, his name's different. His name's Birdo in the book. And he's just like a homie. He's just like Mickey's friend. And that's it. And for some reason, in the movie, they made him a dick. And like really unlikable. And they added all this bullshit. Tony Collette's character's not in the book. And it's not that the movie has to be like the book. Obviously, it's an adaptation and you can change whatever you want. But the changes should be positive. They should be improving the material. And I feel like Mickey17 didn't really do that. They didn't really add anything, I thought, that made it better. But they kind of just took stuff out that would have made it better.
Yeah.
It does have a really distinct like tone because it's Bong Joon-ho and his movies are always like weirdly comedic, and it does still have that. There's people acting crazy. Mark Ruffalo, not a fan, but in this movie he's like so unhinged and over the top that he's fun to watch.
Yeah. And
he's acting. He's not doing his stupid Mark Ruffalo voice. He's actually like doing a voice, playing a character, and that's a lot of fun. You're getting both Mickeys, and there's some good comedy in it, for the most part.
A lot of the comedy, I think, was the physical comedy from Pattinson for sure.
Mm-hmm. He carried.
Yeah,
sure.
I think one of my biggest problems with the movie is that I feel like there's characters in the movie that could be written out entirely, that don't serve a purpose, that was there for like one or two jokes. Toni Collette's character is only there to like her joke is that she makes sauces out of everything. Mm-hmm. That's the entire existence of her character.
Yeah. I think this movie would have been a lot better if it was basically just a comedy. Which sounds crazy because it's like a sci-fi concept and sci-fi movies are expensive. But I think if you did a comedy about Mickey17 and Mickey18 sort of hating each other, but they're trying not to get caught and they're trying not to get executed, just that.
Yeah.
That's enough for me. Make it shorter, make it an hour and a half, make it just a comedy. Now, it's been years since I read the book, but I do not remember the whole Creeper Army thing at the end happening. I feel like that was made up for the movie. The Creepers are in the book, but I don't remember that happening. So they were trying to like build up to this like big event at the end of the movie because every movie has to have a big climax. Mm-hmm. But I just was not interested in that. I was not interested in what they were doing with like the Creeper Army and having Mickey go out there and like relay a message. I just did not care at all. And I thought that the most interesting part of the movie was the two Mickeys and trying not to get caught. So I think that would have just been a lot better to me. Just focus on the comedy. Just make it a fun little like comedy.
Yeah, they could have played it out like Face Off and have two like obviously they're the same person, but have two completely opposite Mickeys.
Yeah, and you have to get
a complete psycho, and then one is the awkward, weird one.
Yeah, and you've got to get them to pretend to be each other. Like,
yeah,
that would I guess not really. Mickey17 would just be himself, and then Mickey18 would have to be like Mickey17. But
or Mickey18's like running amok, and Mickey17's like trying to stop him.
Yeah,
like a fucking spy versus spy kind of thing.
Yeah, I thought there was an opportunity to just sort of like do a full-on comedy, and would have been a lot better. But instead, they're like balancing this comedy with like this political drama and this like environmentalism. Message with the creepers, and I just thought there's too much going on and it doesn't all like really fit together, and it doesn't really feel, in some ways it feels like a Bong Joon-ho movie, but with how messy it is, it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
His movies are always like very tightly made and like very detailed.
Yeah, I feel like there's typically one like overarching theme that he tries to explore, and then he'll pick that one theme and then he'll do the movie and he'll kind of build around that. Mm-hmm. And this movie, it felt like he was trying to say like three different things.
Yeah, I feel like I could be talking out of my ass. I don't know what other movies he's made that are adaptations, but I feel like he may just not be built for adaptations.
Might be a free range kind of guy.
It may just not fit his style, because as far as I know Parasite's an original. I believe Snowpiercer's an original. Could be wrong. Could be like a graphic novel or something. But I think Okja's original. I think Mother and Host and Memories. Memories is based on true events.
Yeah, but
it's not adapting anything.
Yeah.
So some guys like are really good at adaptations, like David Fincher. I mean, every single thing he does is an adaptation, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he just knows how to do it. And Bong Joon-ho just has such a specific style that it's not really going to work with things he didn't create.
Yeah.
You know? It's sort of like Wes Anderson doing an adaptation. Like, it can happen, like he did it with Fantastic Mr. Fox, but that's like
a one
that's
in
like
a million
perfectly
kind of thing. Yeah.
him. But you can't get Wes Anderson to adapt, you know, like
Get Wes Anderson to do Blood Meridian.
Yeah, do like Mistborn. Like it's just not gonna click. One of those are gonna give. Either, you know, the source material is gonna change into Wes Anderson, or he's gonna not be Wes Anderson to make the movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just not really like a great fit between director and material, but regardless, I think it's still fun. I think I'm probably gonna see it again soon. And I'm curious to see how it holds up on rewatch. I think it's better if you just watch it and like try to have fun and, you know, not really care about the plot too much, which isn't a great thing to say about a movie, but I mean, that's what I say about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like, there's no plot.
Which that could have been, like, I was, like, going in there expecting for, like, stuff to build on, like, really important things. Maybe going in with a fresh set of eyes and thinking, like, this is just goofball comedy. Nothing matters. Mm-hmm. Maybe that would change my experience a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the difference between, like, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Mickey17 is that Mickey17 tries to have a plot. Yeah. It's just not good.
Once Upon a Time, I feel like it's clearly from the start. Like, this
it never has a plot, ever.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, when you talk about that movie, you're not like, don't pay attention to the plot. There is no plot. There's nothing to ignore or pay attention to.
It's a lot more obvious what Once Upon a Time is.
Yeah, but Mickey17's trying to have a plot, but you just have to ignore it because it's not very good. So that's what makes them different. But like I was saying, if they just kind of removed the Creeper Army stuff, kind of removed a lot of the, like, politics with Mark Ruffalo and just had two Mickeys trying to not get caught by evil boss man, Mark Ruffalo, that would have been enough. I think that would have been a completely, like, fine concept. Just make it a comedy and then give it, like, a sweet ending and you're done.
Yeah.
But there's just too much going on. And this isn't, like, the most, articulate analysis, but that's not what you come to the Film Scoop for.
Yeah. No, I think at the end of whenever we finished it, I was like, I think everyone did good. I just think Mickey17 maybe is just not that good of a story.
Yeah. Which I've been saying for a while now. The book isn't that good.
I haven't read the book, but, like, based on what I saw, like, maybe there just isn't a ton there.
Well, I thought the ending of the book was bad. But it is an enjoyable book to read, like, throughout. It's just the ending's bad. But it's not something I read and was like, they got to make a movie out of this.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it was good. But I heard George Carmy say this, but I also agree. It's one of those weird movies where, like, Bong Joon-ho himself didn't really do anything wrong directing. Robert Pattinson didn't really do anything wrong acting. Like, on their own, they're doing good, and they're doing what they should do. But, like, the movie as a whole just doesn't really, like, fit together and doesn't really create, like, a fulfilling experience when you leave.
Yeah.
It's hard to point at specific things and be like, that's what I didn't like. It just does. You don't really feel anything while you're watching it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that's a little hard to explain. But sometimes you just leave a movie and you're like, I don't really know why I didn't love it. I just didn't get that into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes you leave a movie and you're like, that's the reason I didn't like it. It was this thing. It was this character. It was this plot line. Or it was the pacing. Mickey17, like, it doesn't really have any obvious offender on why it's unfulfilling. It's just kind of, I guess the story is just not that gripping.
Yeah.
With all the stuff they added. But
yeah, it's definitely, as of right now, the bottom of my Bong Joon-ho.
I'd be surprised if it's not the worst one once. Well, I think I'll like it more than Barking Dogs Never Bite, but
yeah, I don't know anything
because that's like his first movie. It was low budget. It's probably not going to be
you
that
expect
great.
that. That's like his following.
Yeah, but outside of that, I'm sure I'm going to like Host and Mother more because people love those.
The little bit that I saw of Host, because I almost got it fucking ruined for me. Host is going to be so fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah,
Host is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for that shit. Is that all you wanted to say about Mickey?
Yeah, just said it was disappointing.
Yeah.
I think I've got it at a 3, but to be honest with you, I haven't put a whole lot of thought into it. And that's the same score that I have Untouchables at. I feel like I should probably lower Untouchables because I would definitely watch Mickey17 over Untouchables again.
Yeah. I was just looking at what comes out this week, and there's 3 movies I want to see this week.
Ooh, are we getting up there? What do we got?
Novocaine.
I want to see that, yeah.
Black Bag, which is Steven Soderbergh's new movie.
I haven't heard anything about Black Bag.
I saw the trailer come up once, but I tried not to pay attention because I'm just going to go in and
I'm going in raw.
See what happens. And then Opus, which I've also been avoiding stuff on, but it's Io Debris, so I want to see it.
Opus.
So yeah, hopefully I get some of those seen, and we can talk about those next week. But I gotta get up. Ugh. But thank you guys for listening. Oh, hang on.
Did we lose it?
Hang on. Thank you guys for tuning in to
To
the Film Scoop. Vanessa.